Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Martin, and it's in the evening. Well, it's more than it's in the evening, it's actually late at night. But I want to chat with you, and so I want you to come on in and let's chitter chat for just a minute. I want to talk to you and want to tell you to stop wasting your valuable time. So many of us, we just take so much time wasting time. And what I mean by wasting time, a lot of things that we're wasting time on and with people. Hey, Pastor Long, and we're wasting a lot of time. And I want to share with you something that I've been ministering and preaching for maybe the last 2 to 3 years. And that is, a lot of times we are so engulfed with people that we think don't like us, or people that don't like us, as we say, and people that we are so caught up in the fact that, they're not supporting, they're not helping, they're not a part of what I'm doing or whatever. And so we waste so much valuable time with these people and doing these things. And so I want to encourage you that now we've got to get to the place that we stop wasting time on a lot of this. And what are you saying, Pastor Martin? I'm saying to you that the Lord gave it to me this way a few years ago, and he gave it to me like this, that sometimes you can have an event, maybe at your house or wherever it may be, and you invite 100 people, and 100 people show up for what you are doing. 100 people show up. And out of the 100 people, you may have 3 people that may not like you, 3 people that didn't come to support. They just came to spectate. They just came to look, or what y'all call haters or whatever. They just came to do that. And so what we do is we waste our valuable time, and we will do everything within an hour to 2 hours with those 3, trying to prove a point to them and prove that we are worth their validation and we're worth all of this. And we will waste so much valuable time on 3 people that the 97 that actually came to support, the 97 that actually came to be a part of what we're doing, we neglect them. We don't even entertain them. We're so busy entertaining the 3. So I want to say to you, as we get started in this 4th quarter of this year, 2017, stop entertaining those that are not a part of celebrating you anyway. You're wasting your time, because if they're not celebrating you, they're not going to. And you just got to keep on moving. Learn to enjoy and celebrate with the ones that you have, the people that you are with, the people that are enjoying you. Learn to celebrate them and enjoy them. It's almost like pastoring church. Sometimes as pastors, and I learned early not to do it. I had to get away from it. Sometimes as pastors, what we do is we will get up and preach and talk a whole 30 minutes about people that didn't make service and didn't come to church, and everyone else that's there saying, but I made it. I came through the rain, through the snow, through the storm, through whatever it is, and I just want a word from God. I want you to minister to me. But we're so engulfed about who did make it that we forget those that made it. And so we've got to stop wasting time like that. There's some people that are going to celebrate you. Then there's some people that are not going to celebrate you. Many of you waste time on Facebook and other things. You make a post and you get upset because a lot of people don't like it. You get upset because a lot of people, when you do a Facebook Live, you don't have but 10 or 4 or 5 viewing you, and others look like they got a lot. But don't fool yourself. Everybody that's viewing is not viewing to celebrate. So those that come on to hear you, those that tune into you and your ministry, enjoy them, celebrate, give them something, because they came out of a sincere heart to be a part of what you're doing. And so learn to celebrate and learn to enjoy those that are celebrating you, because you've got to remember, everyone's not going to do it. Did you not know there are people that watch you on Facebook? They watch you on other stuff. They know everything you're doing. They'll never like it. They'll never make a comment. They'll never say anything. but I can guarantee you they know everything you're doing. And so you got to get it in your spirit, and we've got to get it in our spirit that we don't waste time. Again, if 100 people show up and only 3 are there that don't like you, 3 are there that didn't come to celebrate you, what you should do is entertain the 97 and let it be so pure and so genuine that the 3 will say, my God, I'm missing out on something. You got to learn that it's not about those. We waste so much valuable time. We have wasted time. I have done it. I'm now 56. I'm going on 57. But we've wasted so much time just trying to make people like us, trying to fit in, trying to be a part. You go in the group. When you walk in the group, you know the conversation changes. When you got there, everything changed. And so you wasted time doing that. You've done everything you know to do to try to fit in. But now what you've got to do is you've got to go over and say to yourself, I'm going to start celebrating those that celebrate me. Celebrate those that celebrate with you. Celebrate those that support you. And I guarantee you, your life will be a whole lot easier and better. I see my daughter on. I see, I guess it's Jordan, and I see Sister Kimberly. I'm telling you, we've got to learn to celebrate. Don't go through no changes about who's not doing this and who's not doing that. Some people that can do for you will never do for you. Some people that can help will never help. Some people that can celebrate will never celebrate. But you and I can't waste our time. We've got to do what God has called us to do. Keep moving, keep going, getting things done in spite of what others are doing. Another thing we do sometimes when we waste our time is we're so busy trying to keep up with what looks like it's working for others. You got to understand that some people, they are good at what they do. They know how to do it. You know, I recently got to play a part in a movie here in Georgia, and the director was so kind. He wanted me to be in some of the main scenes that they were doing this one particular day. And so we shot all day. When I mean all day, we were there from 6:30 in the morning. I was there to almost like 8 or 9 o'clock that night. And I have to tell you, it was a great experience for me because I got to see how they do a lot of behind the scene things with movies. It was very interesting to me. And I remember sitting on the stage as they were filming. And I remember the young man that was sitting next to me, he said, oh my God, he said, it's still early. And I said to him, I said, no, it's 8:30, and that's before the time change. I said, it's already dark. And he said, really? But what they had did, they went outside the church we were using, and they put a light outside of the window. And the light that they turned on, it gave the impression that it was daytime. What indeed it was night. But it gave the impression that it was daytime. But it was night. And so I found out in that particular thing that they moved the camera around. We shot so many scenes over, and it wasn't that the scene wasn't right, but they were taking this from all type of angles. They were moving from all type of angles on this movie. And so I applaud those that do movies. I tell you, I thought it was something I may want to do. The money is good, but it takes a whole lot of work. And so we were moving, and they did this, and then they got over here, shot this scene, shot that scene, shot the other scene. And they made it look like that it was daytime and it was night. The next day I went back to shoot another scene, and when the movie comes out, I want to see how it's going to look, because where we shot that particular scene was not in an office, but they set it up in the corner of the sanctuary to look like an office. And while we were sitting in the corner, and they set it up and they took shots and angles and the way they did the scene, I was like, whoever's going to edit this is going to be good, and this is going to turn out good. But it gave me a different perspective that sometimes people make a lot of things look a certain way, but it don't necessarily mean that's the way it is. And a lot of us, we're trying to keep up with impressions that people have given to us and shown to us that try to make us look like that's what it is. You see, you can't be carried away with impressions. Stop wasting your time with impressions. People, it will impress you, or they'll do things to try to impress you, and you trying to keep up. And you don't have to keep up. Just be who you are. Now, there's a song in the world years ago, and I know many of you don't know nothing about it. It was, you've been saved all your life, but I believe it was Sly and the Family Stones or somebody, but whoever it was, the name of the song was "Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again." Many of you need to stop wasting your time trying to be someone else. God bless you. You need to stop wasting your time trying to be somebody else. Be who you are. Learn to let people accept you for who you are. Stop wasting time trying to be who you're not. We've tried our best. We've done everything to impress everybody, and nobody is impressed. And we're the ones that's unhappy, unsatisfied, because we're trying our best to impress people that we shouldn't be trying to impress. There's no need to impress them. Think about the changes we've went through. Think about the changes we've went through in all our lives, what we've done. Many of you probably can't witness to this, but we've been through a lot of stuff. Hey, Becky, I see you. As a young man, Angela, I see you. As a young man, I'm dark. You can see I'm dark skinned. There's no doubt about it. I got light on. You see the light in my glasses. I got a light so I can brighten me up, but I'm dark skinned. And as a young man, I was not satisfied with being dark because I wanted to be light like other people. So what I did is, you do what everybody. You remember they used to have that little bleaching cream you used to put on you, and it would maybe brighten your skin up. But the only problem with the bleaching cream was your face got a little lighter, but every other part of you stayed dark. And a lot of times, we're wasting our time because we're trying to be somebody else that God didn't make us. I want to tell you, and I'm not going to be long with this, but this is good for Labor Day. I want to share with you this. Understand this, and it's true. God has somebody and an audience for you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Hey, Clark, God has an audience for you. God has an audience for you. He's got somebody that you're going to minister to, somebody that likes you for you. You don't have to put on no front. You ain't got to put on no impressions. You ain't got to do nothing. He has an audience for you, somebody that likes you. That's why have you ever seen somebody that got married and you be like, how did those two get together? God's got somebody that liked them. God's got somebody that when they saw him, no matter what you may have saw, when somebody else saw them, they saw nothing but beautiful. And they didn't have to impress them. They didn't have to do anything. They just saw beauty. So I want to tell you, stop wasting your time trying to entertain people that are not entertainable. They're not impressed, and you're wasting your time doing it. I'm helping you tonight because I've done it. Wasting my time trying to fit in, trying to dress like them, trying to be like them. And you got to remember, and I've got to put it all out on the line tonight. A lot of people that's dressing up and got all this stuff, don't fool yourself. They dressed up and broke. Dressed up, don't have no money. Dressed up, can't pay bills. And you trying to keep up with them and you going through those changes. You got to get back and say, I'm going to do what the Lord called me to do. This is the fourth quarter of this year. We got September, October, November, December. I declare unto you, if you start entertaining people that like you, people that are your friends, those that support you, you're going to find that your life is less stressful because of what you're doing. When you got people that come to your church, start entertaining people that come to your church. When they get there, just entertain them. Be happy for those that are at your church. Don't worry about who's at somebody else's church. Don't worry about what crowds they got. Don't worry. Oh, cut it out. Just do what God called you to do. Somebody comes to hear you. I'm looking today. There's some of you on here that's watching me on this Facebook Live. Now, there are others that may see it later. They may be doing other things. But I'm not discouraged because maybe a few here, and then some people brag, well, everybody's watching. Don't get impressed with that. Just get impressed with the lives you're supposed to touch. And once you touch those lives, then you're going to find that that's where you get rewarded for life that you're supposed to touch, not all the other stuff. I've often shared this, and I'm going to close this out. I never forget preaching in a convention, and my subject was, "This is your wake-up call." And, it was a good message, a good service. And I never forget, my wife said to me, someone made a comment to her, and they were saying, well, he did good, but he didn't bring it. He just didn't pull it. And at first, I was thinking, wow. But then you know what happened, and I've shared this so many times. It was about 7 years later. God has a way of letting you know that you may not be doing what other people are doing, but if you're effective, God will let you know that you're effective. So a young man, I was sitting in a convention, and a young man came and tapped me on the shoulder. And he said, "Are you Pastor Martin?" I said, "I am." He said, "I know you don't know me." He said, "But I remember you, and I wanted to share this with you." He said, 7 years ago tonight, that was on like the 4th of July. He said, 7 years ago tonight in Houston, Texas, we were in Houston when I ministered this word. He said, "You preached, this is your wake-up call." He said, "I got saved that night. I answered the altar call." Listen at this. I answered the altar call. And I got saved that night. And not only did I get saved, but now I'm filled with the Holy Ghost and I'm ministering the gospel. And I just want to thank you for obeying God. A lot of times we're wasting our time trying to impress people, crowds, preachers, our peers, and we're forgetting the most important thing. God has never called us to be impressionists. He's never called us to impress anybody. We are anointed for more than impressing people. At the end of the day, you want the work of God to be done, and you want people's lives to be changed. Forget about all this other stuff that we think is so important. We're impressing people, and at the end of the day, the thing that's going to matter is what the Lord thinks about what you've done. So I want to encourage you on this Labor Day. After we take this break, let's go. Let's get to work. Let's go and do what God has called us to do with the people that he's connected to us. They need us. That's why he's connected them. They want what we have. That's why he's connected them. Don't worry about who's doing something over there. Just do what God called you to do. And I declare unto you that you're going to be happy. You're going to be satisfied. God's going to be glorified. And your life will never be the same. Thank you so much. I pray and trust that you got something out of this. I see y'all, all of y'all. Let's see. I see Clark. I see Wallace. I see Becky. I see Belinda. Kimberly. I see Tanisha. Oh my God. I see all of you. I see Pastor Simpson. Oh God bless you. It's just a blessing to have y'all on tonight. And I know it's late. And I was sort of reluctant about coming on so late, but I figured it's Labor Day, so we might be up, and then those on the West Coast will be able to watch it. Now, I'm going to be doing something, and I want y'all to give me some feedback real quick, and then I'm going to get off of here. Thank you so much. I want to say this. I'm going to be doing something. I traveled as an evangelist most all my life, and then I started pastoring. And so in this month of September, I'm going to do some Facebook Live dealing with the ministry of the evangelist, not evangelism, but the ministry of evangelists, of the evangelists. And I want those of you to help me to spread the word. And I'm going to be posting some later this week. And we're going to get started. And I want to be able to impart and to impact those that are getting started. We've got a generation. This is why I can't waste time trying to impress people. We've got a generation coming behind us. We've got those that are coming behind us. And they need answers to questions, how to do, what mistakes not to make, other stuff that they need answers to. And those of us that have been there on the front line, those of us that have been there doing this, we need to be able to share with them those things that when they start, they won't start behind, but they'll start ahead. Jesus said in the scripture, or the scripture says, greater works than these shall you do because I go to my Father. And I believe we should never be jealous of those that are behind us, of those that are coming behind us. We should always celebrate them because of the fact that we got to remember we're moving off the scene and they're coming on the scene, and we want them to do better than we did. I want my son to do better than I did. I want my daughter to do better than I did. And so we want to impart into them that they won't start way behind, but they'll start way ahead. And so I'm going to be doing some sessions and some things to share with how I did it. And it still works today, and the things that you need to look out for, the things you need to see. And so I want you to stay connected to me. Keep watching my page, because I'm going to have you where you sign up and you get a notification of it. And we're going to share those things because I believe it's vital. It's important. We're going to be sharing some things that are going to be good, some things, and I won't get into what we're going to be sharing, but I'm going to be sharing it with you. And I just want those that are coming behind me to do better. If you allow me just to say this last thing, and I'm going to be through. There's a great debate today about whether LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. And of course, Michael Jordan is past 50 now. I don't know how old he is. I know he's in his 50s. And I think LeBron is 38 or 39 or somewhere in there, up in his 30s. And he's setting records. He's doing a whole lot of stuff, and everybody's debating who's the best. Well, I came up, of course, in the Jordan era. I came up and I've seen Michael Jordan, and then I've seen LeBron. But now here's the thing that we don't want to be guilty of, and I want you to hear me very carefully. And if you agree, please give me some hearts and some thumbs up and stuff. It would be crazy for Michael Jordan to come out of retirement. They're saying that LeBron is chasing the GOAT. It would be crazy for Michael Jordan to come out of retirement trying to keep up with LeBron at 50. Whatever should be happening is Michael Jordan should be the teacher and giving instructions at 50-something, not trying to keep up to maintain his record or status. He should be now imparting into those that are coming behind him that even if they end up being better than him, it really don't matter because I'm imparting something to you. And so I want to say to those of you, and those are the things that I want to do, I want to share, because I want whoever comes behind me, I'm not in competition for preaching. Really? Come on, y'all. I'm not competing for preaching. I'm not in competition for preaching. Who can do the best? Listen, believe me, I've done my time, and I've done it probably more than most people will know. So I'm not in competition. None of us should be in competition. We should be trying to make those coming behind us better. And so we want to share that and stay connected, because I'm going to be sharing some things and they're going to bless you. And I know it's going to move for you. I'm glad you were with me today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, my God. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that's right. He should absolutely be encouraging him to be the best. We should always encourage those behind us to be the best. When I see some of the young preachers today that have come, there's some that are out today that they're outstanding. They're, and I'm not just talking about Church of God in Christ, I'm talking about all over. There's some. I literally watched one of them, Pastor Derek Hutchins II. I used to go and preach for his father. I remember when he was a young man, he wasn't even preaching when I first started going, but he's a phenomenal preacher, great pastor. You got others that are out there that God is using. And there's no need of me to be jealous of them because people calling them and want them to come preach. Listen, I got a place to preach every Sunday. I'm good. But we got to understand, we got to encourage them, because now they're on the front line. And as we get older and they take over and move, we want God to use them, and we want the work of the Lord to be done. The Lord bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I pray and trust you got something out of this. Have a wonderful, wonderful Labor Day. And I know God's going to bless you. Well, let me do this. I'm going to pop this off and let me pop something else on and say to you, God bless you and good night.
Restoration with Pastor Dennis L. Martin Sr.